Dale's family once lived in a peaceful world. One day, it was another peaceful day, but a war emerged, destroying everything in an instant. As a result, only traces of human civilizations remain. Dale's oldest memory was of ash covering the streets and the stench of smoke. He also noticed some people. They have a blank expression on their faces. But Dale thought it's bearable because they were still smiling. He also has a shoulder to lean on. Until something appeared that ruined it. When humanity is in despair, something called gods appears. The gods called humans little lambs. They asked the humans to worship them. They said they were their new masters, the guides to a new world. Furthermore, the gods announced that civilization will be rebuilt in the name of the gods. He told them to bring the souls of their neighborhood for those who long for salvation and come to their sanctuary. 15 years later, Dale was only left with a picture of his family. The man asked him to get off as soon as they arrived. That time, the gods restored civilization that humanity built over millennia. Dale looked at the sanctuary made by the gods. They were planning to enter the sanctuary of the golden god, Barak. A god's servant welcomed them to the sanctuary, thinking they're a new devotee. The man asked if they're qualified to enter. There are 2 ways to enter the sanctuary, which is to offer a sacrifice. The other one is to become a sacrifice. The men chained Dale immediately because he's the sacrifice. However, Dale was complacent as the sanctuary is not his goal. His main goal was to meet the gods. Dale remembered clearly how he's the only one left alive in their family. He was frightened when they spoke to him. They spoke of mercy, love, salvation, blessing, justice, and goodness to him while they killed his family. So, Dale was determined. He vowed to meet every single god in the world. He pondered that he would throw them into hell one by one. The man that came with Dale wandered around the sanctuary. He saw a bar and quickly entered. He asked the bartender to just give him something cold. He then mentioned that he was a new devotee and noticed that it's true that everything in the sanctuary is gold. Moreover, the bartender gave him a drink for newcomers. So, the man guessed that Barak's power creates gold, but the bartender told him that it's not. He told the man that Barak's real power is to turn things that are not gold into gold. He then informed the man that Barak turned everything to gold and he will soon also receive gold. The bartender explained that if he offered a satisfactory sacrifice, Barak will give him a lot of gold, and if it's unsatisfactory, he'll still get some. In response, he asked why Barak gave more or less. So, the bartender said Barak has an unusual, which is to collect artworks. Meanwhile, Barak the god was showing his artworks to Dale. The first one is an old man dancing and a child singing in sorrow. Barak then asked Dale if he liked his collection. But Dale didn't respond. Barak asked him why he was silent, considering that he doesn't like it. Still, Dale didn't answer. Consequently, Barak let go of the statues and said that he doesn't like them either. He said that he's tired of old men and children. He then told Dale that it's been a while since he had a strong man like him. Moreover, he pointed at the empty space and said that it was his place. He told him that he saved the center spot for him. Barak was thrilled that he could finally fill the men's display case. Suddenly, Barak felt something amiss. He contemplated and thought that he should have left 2 spots open. Then, Dale asked Barak if the display case looked strange because they're all injured. So, Barak explained that it's natural for humans to get injured while being hunted by other humans. Moreover, Barak was amazed that Dale didn't have a single scratch, as he had never seen such a clean sacrifice. Suddenly, Barak asked Dale if he's with that person. He believed that the man that sacrificed Dale was with him working together. Moreover, the man who was with Dale told him that Barak's power is material transformation, which Barak heard. Barak got the earphones and said that he heard some people daring to appear directly in front of God. Then he crushed the audio device. The man felt the guards behind him, thinking that they found out their plan. Meanwhile, Barak told Dale to try what he's going to do. He shared that he was curious as well what a mere human can do in front of a god. He told Dale to hurry because his body will soon turn into a lump of gold. But Dale asked Barak if he would trap souls in gold and slowly absorb them. In response, Barak said he was right. So, Dale said what Barak can do because he doesn't have a soul and he can check if he wants. Barak then asked him what his plan was. Shortly, he placed a finger on his forehead and his finger was suddenly denied. His finger got stained with a black blood, so he asked Dale what he was. Dale asked Barak if he was flustered. He told Barak that he sold his soul. He sold it to a being that can kill God, the being that embraces all demons. He informed Barak that the being is called a void. So, Barak asked what he was. He said that he has never seen something like it. So, he wondered what he should do, considering Dale has no soul. Then, he told Dale that it was too bad. He believed that he had no value in his collection. He struck Dale to the ground using his immense power. He told Dale that he was trash. Then, he struck him again and said that what Dale said was just a story. He told him that there's nothing that can kill gods. Barak was angry and pondered that Dale was a servant of another god. Shortly, he called the high priest and instructed him to find out which Dale served. While he was talking, Dale's body was regenerating. Dale then spoke and asked Barak why there wouldn't be a being that can kill God. Barak was taken aback to see Dale was in good shape. To his surprise, a strange entity appeared behind Dale as he summoned Pavaka. Barak screamed in pain as the being burned his shoulders. His body was slowly melting by the intense heat of the flames. So, he quickly summoned his servants and told them to kill Dale. Meanwhile, Dale summoned Brass. The demon quickly killed all the guards in one strike. However, Dale felt pain as the power that came from. The demons always have a price. But he thought that he could endure it. Meanwhile, Barak's anger surged and stated how dare a human being like him defy the gods. He declared that he will take Dale seriously. On the other hand, Dale expected that it wouldn't just end like that. So, he had no choice but to borrow the power of the Lords of Hell. Dale told Barak that he will show him what real hell looks like. Meanwhile, Dale's accomplice already eliminated the Barak's guards, so he wondered if Dale is doing well. While he was asleep, he recalled his family's faces smiling at him with joy. Shortly, he started to wake up. He slept again on his dead family's clothes. He held his family's clothes filled with sadness while his body trembled in pain. Suddenly, a man appeared and told him that must have lost someone precious. The man told him that what happened to him is not that rare in their world, as humanity falls as a prey to the gods. He asked Dale if he thinks the world can change. So, Dale asked if it meant changing the world. Dale said that he would rather see it collapse again. The man laughed at his answer and said he was right. He believed that it must be torn down and rebuilt from scratch. Furthermore, the man mentioned his name was Walter, and he led the unbelievers group from the east. He shared that they recently discovered an artifact known as the only weapon capable of killing God. He said the artifact led him to Dale, so he told Dale that he was chosen by the Void and asked him to become the weapon that kills God. So, Dale asked if it would be using the power of a demon. He gladly accepted it as the man told him to be a weapon that kills God. Going back, Barak knew that Dale was using the power of the devil, but he didn't care. He told Dale whether he was a human or a demon, he was a mere mortal before the gods. Moreover, Barak's body completely transformed into gold. Barak declared that he was omnipotent and absolute in his golden sanctuary. In response, Dale was excited. Meanwhile, Barak told him that he will enlighten him with the power of gods. Barak declared that those who challenge their authority will surely meet their doom. Then he told Dale that he would crush him slowly in agony. But before he could continue speaking, Dale already cut his head in half. Suddenly, Dale feels he's reaching his limit. Then he noticed Barak was being stubborn. Barak told Dale that his pretty tricks won't work anymore. Barak declared that he would trample and crush him and he will eventually die. As Barak struck the ground, it created a massive explosion. The high priests were worried that Barak was overdoing it. Shortly, the high priests ran as they noticed the temple collapsing. Meanwhile, the people outside the temple also felt the ground shake and thought it was Barak. The trembling reached the bar where Walter defeated the servants of Barak. The bartender was shocked as he realized that Walter is not a follower of Barak. The bartender realized that he was an unbeliever, so he blamed Walter that he's the reason Barak was angry. But Walter told the bartender that he also was treated like a prey before coming there. Walter asked the bartender how he felt when he sacrificed his own fellow. Suddenly, the bartender noticed that his arm was turning into gold. Walter told the bartender that gods just see them as livestock and nothing more. Moreover, Walter went outside the bar and saw Barak coming out stronger than he thought. The followers of Barak all turn to gold as he rises up from the ground. Suddenly, Walter noticed someone coming riding a motorcycle. The person stopped right in front of him. To his surprise, the girl named Caddy said that they came to rescue him. He reprimanded Caddy and said that she was crazy. But Caddy stated that she can't resist following him after 5 years of no contact, as Walter suddenly told them that he's going to wage a full-out war against the gods in the sanctuary. However, Walter assured her that they have the power to fight and came prepared. So, Caddy pondered that Walter actually completed the weapon that kills gods. Walter then confirmed it and said it was also beyond his expectations. He shared that 5 years ago, he was convinced from the first time he saw Dale. He recalled seeing the expression on Dale's eyes, thinking that everything the artifact wanted was there. Walter saw in Dale's eyes the hopelessness, sorrow, hatred, fear, and desire for revenge. However, he thought that those who seek to use the artifact of emptiness must embed the artifact into their heart. But as soon as he gave it to Dale, there was not a moment of hesitation. Dale walked willingly into death, and his body did not decay for 5 years. Walter couldn't guess what Dale's soul was going through in 5 years. Just a few months ago, Dale, who had descended to hell, returned from death. Caddy was surprised upon hearing that Dale came back to life, which Walter explained that Dale succeeded in a contract with the Void. By hunting the power of the gods, Dale obtained a very special power. Moreover, Dale expressed that he's been waiting for Barak not to hold back. He stated that with powers absorbed from that level of soul, it should be enough. On the other hand, Caddy contemplated about the special power Walter mentioned. Meanwhile, Walter stated that the weapon that can kill gods has started. Barak turned around as he heard Walter mention the weapon. Suddenly, he saw something bigger than him emerging. Dale was excited as they're ready to hunt. He asked the devil to lend him its power. The devil was the king of flames that ruled the hell of injustice, Agni. The king lent Dale its power. As he received it, his body started to change as his true ability was to possess the bodies of the overlords of the netherworld. The ability is called demonic possession. Dale turned into a complete demon of hell. He quickly charged towards Barak. He channeled his fist, turning it into flames. He didn't stop his advance and was determined to get the promise of gold. Meanwhile, Barak stayed put. Dale was a lot smaller than him, so he tried to grab him. Finally, he caught him in his hands. But Dale easily crushed and melted it with his power. Suddenly, Barak's arms started to collapse and melt. Dale charged at him with overflowing flames in his body. He was targeting Barak's head. He then started to burn him to the bone. Shortly, a large hand appeared that was about to grab Barak's body. His hand devoured Barak's whole body. Barak screamed for help and asked him to stop. He asked Dale to spare him while his body was engulfed in flames. Suddenly, he couldn't endure it and asked Dale to kill him. So, Walter declared that it was a success, which made Caddy surprised. She couldn't believe that they defeated a god. But Walter said that they were just getting started. Suddenly, Dale's body returned to its original form. He went to Walter and Caddy, stating that he had been his inspiration. Moreover, he showed them a piece of wooden finger-shaped sculpture and said it came out from Barak's body. Walter then discerned it was another artifact. He guessed that gods are also borrowing power from a different realm, just like they borrowed power from the devil. Suddenly, Dale felt weak. His body slowly collapsed to the ground. He told them that he will sleep for a few days. On the other sanctuary of the gods, there lies the central grand shrine. Some beings wearing capes were headed to the shrine. The man's name is Lu, and he led his servants towards the central grand shrine. Upon reaching it, he informed the gods that he came as summoned. He pays respect to the revered three gods. The god informed them that the golden god is dead, and their enemy finally revealed itself. They thought it was just like the prophecy, but they said not to worry and just follow the plan. Then, the other god asked Lu to bring the last ingredient for the descent of the one true god. He mentioned that it was the relic of the void. Shortly, Lu left the central grand shrine flying with his technologies. Meanwhile, Walter and the unbelievers continued their journey. Dale slept a lot during their travel. Moreover, Caddy held the artifact and was contemplating. She then opened the window and told Walter that she still don't understand. She told him that the relic that came from Barak is like a device that draws power from another realm, just like the void. So, Walter said that the gods probably used it to harness powers like divine abilities. But Caddy told him that she still doesn't understand why Walter accepts something so absurd easily, like when he brought the void 5 years ago. She told him that she knew that Walter is not someone who believes in such things without evidence. However, Walter did not respond. Then, Walter decided that he should tell Caddy the reason why he have to believe the unbelievable. Walter started to tell Caddy that before the last war, he was the chief researcher of a mega corporation called East. He mentioned there was a strange place in their lab that even him was restricted from accessing the secret area. One day, he found the door open and he was driven by curiosity, so he went in. Upon seeing the place, he wondered what that place was. He noticed that the room was a strange place. He thought it was just a mysterious room with an unknown purpose. He saw some murals whose meanings were hard to understand. Then, he saw a lone printer and shattered documents. He read the documents and thought it was a third-rate fantasy novel, to which he can't identify its genre. As he couldn't understand the contents of the documents, he copied it on his phone. Suddenly, when he was about to leave, the printer produced another document. He saw it was some numbers of some sort. Moreover, he heard noises outside. So, he hurriedly grabbed the paper with numbers and escaped. Walter gave his phone to Caddy to show her the documents. Caddy looked at it and asked what it was. Then, Walter told her that those documents were not a novel, but a prophecy. Walter said that all the things that happened to them is just like the contents of the documents, and it became true just like the prophecy. Then, Caddy asked the meaning of numbers. Walter explained that it was the latitude, longitude, and time that indicated the location of the relic of the void and Dale. He believed the gods, the laboratory, and the prophecy are connected, and the gods always followed the prophecy. Moreover, he explained that when he followed the paper with numbers, he then knew where and when the relic of the void and Dale would appear. However, Caddy noticed that the prophecy ends with Barak's death. So, Walter said it's the problem because he doesn't know what will happen at the moment. Suddenly, the car crashed. some being stopped them with its bare hands. The being that stopped them was a servant of the revered gods, Lu. Walter and Caddy got hurt and still tried to open their eyes. Lu, along with his army, came to find the relic of the void. They searched the vehicle and found Dale. The man brought Dale and showed it to Lu, then asked what they should do. In response, Lu instructed him to extract the relic of the void. Suddenly, Walter punched him. Walter quickly instructed Caddy to protect Dale. Thus, the man was taken aback when his body got destroyed. Caddy then asked Walter who he was telling her to protect them and said Dale's not going to die anyway. So, Walter told her that Dale can't recover when he's unconscious. Suddenly, a chain was placed on his neck. Lu summoned them and quickly tried to hold Walter. He struck Walter to the ground and instructed his servants to dispose of them. However, a part of his body suddenly burst. Caddy quickly checked on Walter and asked if he was okay. Suddenly, a strange hand grabbed their bodies as the servant utilized his skill. He told them that what they did to Lu was a disrespect. Walter informed Caddy that the group are followers of the Central Shrine. He said they are not the opponents they can handle, as they have the powers equivalent to low-tier gods. Meanwhile, Lu was surprised that someone knew about them. Then, he instructed his people to take care of them. Suddenly, he pierced Dale's body and extracted his heart. Caddy and Walter was surprised, but they couldn't do anything. Shortly, Dale's body was slowly turning into ash. Thus, Lu informed the revered gods that the relic has been secured. But the gods still felt unsettled. On the other hand, the other god said that he was always worried. Then, the other one said that he also felt uneasy. Moreover, they declared that at that moment, there is no prophecy. Suddenly, Lu was taken aback when the heart suddenly moved. They thought someone was interfering with everything. To their surprise, an eye appeared in the sky. A strange thing was suddenly emerging from the heart. To their surprise, Lu's body was being enveloped by the demons of the void. In an instant, he suddenly disappeared into nothing. Caddy and Walter felt something dangerous occurring. Even Lu's servants feel frightened. There was a shadow walking towards them. A man that looked like a shadow appeared. He was known as God Eater, Voidman. Dale's body was completely enveloped by the void. Thus, Caddy asked Walter if Dale's new appearance is on their side. But Walter said that it was bad because it's the worst-case scenario they feared. He recalled the time when Dale mentioned about when something other than a demon tries to emerge from his body. Dale asked him to destroy his heart by any means. Moreover, he told Caddy that creatures must never be allowed to come to their world. He said that if it revealed its true form, their world might face its end. Lu's servant observed the entity in front of them. They considered that Lu had fallen and think what they should do. He mentioned there's no prophecy about something happening like that. So, El states that there is no entity outside the sanctuary that can control them, as they're the elite servants of the central temple. But he felt inside that there's an unknown terror freezing his whole body. The big man called El and said that he felt like throwing up. But El persisted and said they should take it down in one strike. Quickly, El and Al gathered the 3 elite legions. He believed that the strike could not be endured by the entity. So, he quickly called the servants of the 3 main gods and told them to purify the unholy being immediately. So, the machines of the legions prepared to attack. The servants also charged all at once. As they attacked, it created a massive surge of power. The attack resulted in an explosion. Shortly, they wondered if they striked it. To their surprise, the entity was still there. Then, they noticed that it was not moving. They wonder why it was not retaliating against them. On the other hand, Walter suddenly apologized to Caddy. He said that he should have destroyed Dale's heart right away. So, Caddy asked Walter what kind of entity it was. Walter tells her that right after Dale came back, he begged them to prevent the entity from rising into their world. He remembered that Dale told him that the entity was a calamity even in hell. Dale shared that it devours anything in its path, that nothing enters its stomach ever escapes. The place it devours will go to the very bottom of hell. He said it's an endless abyss called the void. Suddenly, the sky turned dark and the restraints on Caddy and Walter disappeared. Suddenly, Dale appeared and told Walter that he couldn't even stop it in the end. They were surprised that he was alive, but Dale said that he doesn't know if it counts as being alive. He told them they're already in a world beyond death, but he shared that they were the only ones there, which he said meant that the Master of the Void hasn't consumed the entire world yet. Meanwhile, the elite servants noticed that Dale was still alive. El quickly prepared to attack as he was angry that they mocked them. He declared that they should deliver divine retribution. El utilized his full power and charged towards them. Caddy said it was dangerous, but Dale asked them to stay still. To El's surprise, his attack didn't reach them. Dale mocked El that he still didn't know his place. He informed them that they can't use divine powers because they're in the graveyard of demons. At that place, demons gathered there. The king of flame demons slumbering the fires, Engi, was also there. Then Moloch, the insect that feasts on the flesh of the dead old gods. Next, Solon, the ghost ruler, rampages over distorted souls. Lastly, Mang, the nameless pilgrim seeking forgotten knowledge. Dale explained that even if the demons are mere spirits that have been devoured by the void, Dale said they are powerful enough to hunt gods and are entities subservient to the powers. Walter then discerns that those are demon kings who once ruled hell. Moreover, Caddy was also taken aback that the elite servants of the central temple are being slaughtered unilaterally. Shortly, they saw that the elite servants have all been devoured. Thus, Caddy realized that Dale has escaped there before, so Walter asked if there is any way to return. Dale said there's a way, but he can't use it anymore. He mentioned that, as he said, nothing can escape there without the permission of the Master of the Void. He shared that the reason he escaped was because he made a contract with it. The Master of the Void agreed to send him back to the moral world on the condition that he will hunt down powers to feed the demons and the demon kings. After he came back, he realized that while he could draw upon the powers of demons and demon kings, the fact that demons could borrow his body meant that the Void could use his body to rise up as well. He realized that the Void's real purpose is to use his body to devour the mortal world. So, he said that the only way they can escape is if the Void himself let them out. Dale then stated that there's no way out. In response, Walter got angry and thought that he meant they should give up. So, Dale sarcastically asks if they should pray to the gods. Caddy then stopped them from fighting. She told them it's not their time to be fighting. Then, she asked Dale about the contract he made. She told them to amend the contract and make an offer the Master of the Void can't refuse. She suggests a power that the Master of the Void can't obtain by destroying the world. Dale was taken aback by what she said, while Caddy revealed there's still a god who hasn't descended yet. She stated that it was the power of the one true God that hasn't appeared in the world yet. She shared that the one true God has promised power. So, Dale and Walter pondered about the power. In response, Walter got mad and asked Caddy if she's just going to watch the true God descend. However, Caddy said they need to buy time for now because there's no other way. She expressed that she knew that he was struggling to prevent that from happening. But she said that they need to avoid annihilation first. So, Dale said that they should give it a shot. He said there's a high chance of failure, but they got no other options. Quickly, he placed his thumb on his chest. A black thing suddenly emerged from his chest as he pieced his heart. Shortly, they were in another dimension. The black blood dripped from his thumb and slowly appeared from nothing. Suddenly, a black thing appeared. Walter and Caddy were taken aback as they saw a temple. The temple has a big statue. It was the place where they could meet the Master of the Void. Moreover, Dale stood up. The Master of the Void slowly appeared, revealing his body. As it completely showed, Dale and the others stood in front of it. Dale exchanged conversations with the Master of the Void in a strange language. Caddy and Walter wondered what they were talking about. The Master of the Void suddenly pointed at Caddy and Walter. To their surprise, there was something enveloping them in the ground. The black entity enveloped their whole body. Walter screamed for Dale's name, while Caddy noticed that she didn't feel anything. Suddenly, they were being drowned by the black entity. Shortly, Walter and Caddy woke up. They realized they came back to the mortal world and quickly find Dale. They quickly went to Dale and lifted his body. As the void disappeared, they decided to head back to the base. It was nighttime and raining in the Unbeliever East Branch base. The guard were talking about Caddy and the former captain, Walter. The other guards said not to mention Walter because half of the unit left because of him. Suddenly, they noticed someone coming. They were only seeing little because they're still far. So, they quickly used their telescope. To their surprise, it was the former captain, Walter. The gates immediately opened, and they quickly informed that Walter was back. As they walked through them, Caddy felt the atmosphere is not welcoming. Simon went to them and quickly asked how Walter was. Walter told Simon that he hasn't changed at all. He said he was still suspicious while they pointed guns at them. But Simon asked them to not take it personally and said it's just a formal procedure. Then he said that a few things have changed while Walter was away. Simon stated that if anyone who entered the sanctuary fails to prove it, they are executed. So, Caddy got angry and said that he was crazy for doing that to the captain. Then, Walter asked Simon, who agreed to that, and asked who's the current captain of the unit. But Simon said that he can't tell him because he might be a believer. To their surprise, Walter said that he can't prove it. Walter told them that proving it means kidnapping believers. Then, if killing the believers proves they're unbelievers, they aren't different from those inside the sanctuary. He stated that what they need to kill is not the believers but the gods. But Simon doesn't believe that they could kill gods. So, Caddy said that she saw it herself, the sight of killing gods. Simon was taken aback and asked what she was talking about. So, Walter showed them Dale and said he's the weapon that kills gods. Simon then asked how he is a weapon. However, Walter said that he didn't have to believe it and just let him take Dale to the lab. He mentioned that he needs to draw Dale's blood. That's why he returned. In response, Simon asked why they should let him use the lab. Walter told him to think about it. He told them that the power to kill gods isn't only for Dale. He shared that by transfusing Dale's blood, anyone can use the power of demons for about an hour. Upon hearing this, Simon and Caddy were surprised. He then instructed them to tell the elders and branch captains that the final plan has begun. Walter declared that the god-slaying unit is ready. He firmly stated that every plan they made is complete. Dolly told the evil god that the one true God will descend on earth and he will hunt down its power and offer it to him. The evil god spoke up and told him that he's underestimating himself, calling him its vessel. He mentioned that Dolly was just borrowing the power of a few demons, so why would he think he can capture the one true God? Upon hearing this, Dolly wondered if he failed. Then, the evil god states that the world has not been destroyed yet, which Dolly felt alarmed. It lifted up Dolly's chin and told Dolly that the part of it that was captured in him was only enough to swallow a city or two at most. So, Dolly questioned the evil god. He asked it what it was up to and why it had appeared on Earth. Suddenly, it pointed at Caddy and Walter. Dolly wondered why it was pointing at Caddy and Walter. Suddenly, it started to envelop them at its hands. Then, it completely swallowed them. The evil god told him that he was still useful, That's why he's just delaying his death. So, Dolly asked if it was going to save them. The evil god believes that Dolly needs his strength just as much as it needs Dolly. It said that it meant that Dolly can bring out the world of void. Dolly then asked what the world of the void is. The evil god explained that it was the most ancient of all desires, as one of the endings of the world is split in two. It explained that in heaven, earth, and the underworld's 3 worlds and 6 paths, there have always been 2 forces, each with its own purposes. First is the eternity of all things, infinity. Second is the extinction of all things, the void. So, it said that after eons passed, the souls of the realm were drawn together by the 2 forces, creating 2 beings from heaven and the underworld. The evil god told Dolly that it's because of them humans, he and the one true God came into being. Moreover, it explained that the purpose of humanity is born to nourish the souls of humans. Thus, the evil god said that the world of the void, where everything has been destroyed, is their final destination. So, it said that in this war that will decide the fate of the world, Dolly must win. The evil god told Dolly that its will would guide him, so he will just keep going and keep fighting. Suddenly, it changed into Walter's appearance, mentioning the one who heralds his plan. Then, it turned into Dolly saying as the one who channels its powers. Lastly, it changed into Caddy's face as the one who utters its will. The evil god mentioned the end of the world and the world from the followers of infinity. But Dolly got mad and thought that he and the gods could do it themselves. He questioned why humans should fight their battles and why his family had to be massacred for that. He questioned why he should fight for him, as he called the evil god ridiculous. Suddenly, some demons emerged from the ground. The demon known as Manhwa told Dolly that he was arrogant and said not to bare his fangs in front of the master of the void. Dolly held off the demons and told them to get out. Dolly persistently asked the evil god why he used humans to fight. So, the evil god said that the only thing that can cross between worlds is a human soul. Then, it mentioned that what Dolly eventually desires will lie on his path. The evil god came to him. It mentioned revenge and his family. So, Dolly questioned what it meant. Suddenly, the evil god brought out gold and told Dolly that he had seen the power of gold. He mentioned that souls that are neither dead or alive, tangled together wailing, will live in a time of eternity as fuel for the gods. He explained that's what eternity looks like with the one true God, as it's the nature of true power. The evil god said that the souls of Dolly's family are also part of that power, which made Dolly question what it was trying to say. Then, the evil god said he would add one more clause into their contract. Suddenly, Dolly was being enveloped by his dead family. He couldn't understand what the evil god was saying. In an instant, he was fully enveloped by the darkness. Shortly, Dolly started to regain consciousness. He rose up to his seat fully surprised. Then, he saw himself seated in a chair with something connected to his body. On the other hand, Simon expressed amazement, saying that what Walter said was true. Dolly then asked his identity and where he was. Simon apologized that even though it's their first meeting, they have to conduct some tests. Suddenly, a giant robot appeared in front of Dolly. Simon told Dolly that if he's really the god killer, he can handle the modified version of a weapon from the last war. While Simon was talking, he didn't expect Dolly would charge. Dolly stated passion. Then he clapped his hands. In an instant, the weapon was destroyed. As it was destroyed, Dolly aimed at them. He asked Simon who he was, as he broke the glass that was separating them. Simon asked him to take it easy and explained that they're the same. So, Dolly asked who it was according to, as he mentioned that they're the same. He asked which god's sanctuary the place was. Suddenly, a woman intervened and said that the place is the eastern base of the non-believers, a place where those who oppose the gods gather. She offered her hand to Dolly and mentioned that she heard about him from Walter. The woman claimed that she was the current commander of the eastern base named Hannah. She told Dolly that it was nice to meet him. Hannah had a backstory. She was running away with her sister. However, her sister felt weak. She suddenly fell to the ground, which worried Hannah. Hannah asked her sister to get up as they will get caught. Her sister held her hands and told her to listen to what she has to say. She told Hannah to run away as fast as possible, far away from the sanctuary. Suddenly, her sister was captured. Hannah wondered what she could do, a human in the presence of God. He thinks that to gods, humans are just bugs. When she was a child, she thought that she could only hate gods, as fighting them is pointless. Even when she became the leader of the non-believers, she still had that thought. However, something changed when she saw Dolly. She thought that Dolly was proving her wrong right before her eyes. She thinks that humans are no longer powerless. So, she decided to look at him for herself. Hannah thought that if it's Dolly, they might make it. She thought Dolly was the future. No one believed it. She thinks it was the liberation from the gods and humanity's freedom. Moreover, Hannah told Dolly that she was looking forward to working with her. In response, Dolly shoved her hand and asked where Walter was. But Hannah ignored her and said what he did will take a while to recover. She told him that he was reckless as she heard, but she liked it. Then, Dolly instructed her to answer his question where Walter was. Hannah gave him a paper and told him that Walter is a bit busy. Instead, Walter asked her to give him that. It was the family picture that Dolly left. Walter said to Hannah to tell Dolly not to carry it anymore and leave it in the base. Walter also told Hannah to tell Dolly that the base is now his home. Then, Hannah asked if that's enough proof to prove they're on the same side. Shortly, Hannah assisted Dolly on going to his room. She told him that it's a spare room and it's not that great. Suddenly, she noticed something. She touched Dolly's hair and mentioned that it was a little shaggy, so she asked if she could cut it a little. Eventually, Hannah cuts Dolly's hair. Dolly even changed into a uniform and asked Hannah if it was a bit tight. But Hannah assured him that it's fine. Without hesitation, Hannah held Dolly's hand and told him that they should go as others are waiting for him, which Dolly was confused about. Upon going out the base, the non-believers saw Dolly and gossiped left to right. Dolly felt uneasy as all their attention was focused on him. He wondered why they were looking at him, so he asked Hannah if those people knew about him. She told him that he was really popular as they were all watching him. He showed him where they watched him to see if it was true that he was the god-killing weapon. Hannah then mentioned that everyone forgot too long. What brought them all together in that base? As Hannah's sister was captured, she was left alone. But she saw there was hope. A hand reached out to him, and it was the non-believes whose commander that time was Walter. Dolly then contemplates what she said about hope. He started to look at his hand. He recalled what he saw and said it was not hope. Dolly saw it clearly, the beings who served the void that have told him. It said that the one who lends him that power will one day consume their world. He told Hannah that he has no choice but to borrow its powers, and it's not hope by any means. Hannah told him that she knew that it comes with a great price. She mentioned the void, who supposedly lent him the powers. She said that Walter told her that the world almost ended. Thus, she assured him not to worry, saying the void will not appear again. Then, she told Dolly that he may have noticed that they have planted a bomb inside his heart. Hannah clings to him and tells him to relax. She assured him that if it ever happens again, she'll make sure it's nice and tidy, referring to bombing him when it happens. Moreover, she said that she set up 2 or 3 of them so he won't have to worry about failing. Then, she told him that they should focus on subjugating the gods. Hannah informed him that the Divine Fate Unit's first official operation will begin 1 week from now. Upon hearing this, Dolly was taken aback. After a while, he went to Walter. Walter greeted him and said that he almost didn't recognize him as he got a haircut. But Dolly asked Walter to start explaining first. He looked at Walter's experiment and asked him what he was up to. Walter explained that it's a sort of artificial organism made from Dolly's blood. Walter further explained that if it's infused with his blood, he could push his physical abilities to the limit, but not his demonic abilities. He then stated that in order for Dolly to use his demonic abilities, he must possess demons. Dolly asked how he could possess the demons with that, so Walter explained that he had isolated the organism and its serum from his blood. Consequently, if the serum's recipients call out the demon's name, the artificial organism will contain the demon's soul and summon it. Then, Hannah mentioned that the unit that will use that power is the Divine Fate unit. But she told him that there's still a lot of work left to be done. Shortly, she showed him a report documenting where it was the selection process to the Divine Fate unit. She shared that 140 agents applied for the selection test, and only 100 made it to the serum injection stage. Walter explained to the participants that if they call the devil's name after being injected by the serum, the artificial organism will host the demon's soul and summon it. Moreover, he said that the way to possess a demon is to kill the summoned demon. Consequently, during their attempt at possessing the demons, more than 99 were killed and more than 60 were injured. But over the 140 agents that applied, only one made it to the demonic possession phase. It was the Divine First Unit agent, Katarina Basic, codenamed Catty. While it was in process, the scientists checked first all the needed requirements before doing the possession. Catty was getting impatient and told them that they should hurry and begin. But the researcher told her to wait for a moment. Then, he asked her if she knew the purpose of the training, to which Catty answered that it's just possessing a demon. He said that it's wrought what it was, but she doesn't have to possess it. He informed her that the demons she possessed last time were of the lesser variants, but that day's opponent is an intermediate one. Moreover, he explained that according to Walter, the lesser demons has the strength of a platoon. On the other hand, an intermediate demon has the strength of a battalion. He informed her that they prepared for the end of the world, but warned her that she could die. But Catty was confident. She told him that if she could die from that much, she would have died 10 times already. Furthermore, she started injecting the serum. She stated to Q that from now on, he's going to enjoy watching his older sister fight. As the serum was injected, Catty felt it infusing with her blood. Upon completion, Q instructed her to call the demon 8 times and said that they shall just get information then stop. But Catty asked him to shut up and said that she's not running away. Without hesitation, Catty called the name Palag. However, there was something strange. Catty asked Q if it was right. Then Q responded that it was weird as only one soul is responding. Shortly, a bunch of demons appeared along with their leader. She didn't expect that it would be much more than a battalion. So, Catty got ready. She thought there's only one way out, and that is to wipe them all out. Shortly, the demons started to charge. So, she called the demon Psy. Instantly, her vision changed. She finally could see all the demons charging at her. Catty stated that now he can see them. So, she quickly cut the demon that was reaching for her. But she got thrown off balance. However, she did not give up. She used her equipment and pieced it on the ceiling. Catty thought it would never end if she took them one by one. She mused that the combined power of 2 or more demons is too much for her body. So, she wondered what else she could do. Shortly, she called the demon Anak. Without hesitation, she pulled the string from the ceiling. She pondered that Anak's ability is increasing a power's area of effect, as the ability specializes in dealing with large numbers. Then, she brought out her sword. She struck the demons all at once that was encircling her. Consequently, all the demons were eliminated. Finally, Catty's focus was the last demon. she readied her confrontation with the last one. The only left was the leader of the demons. However, Q intervened and instructed her that it's enough as she collected sufficient data. But Caddy was persistent. She charged at the demon and told Q that she will not run away. To her surprise, the demon also started moving. Caddy easily dodged it and pondered that it was so fast. She felt trouble wondering what she should do, as she mused it's a higher level that she can't handle. Suddenly, she saw that it was beside her. The demon successfully captured her. So, Caddy has left no choice. She recalled what Walter said, that in exchange for lending power, the demons demand pain. But he stated that every human being has a pain threshold, and once she crosses the pain threshold, the outcome is one of two things. Walter stated that she will either die or become possessed by a demon. So, Caddy thought it's a gamble and called the demon gal. Suddenly, someone covered her mouth. Dolly instantly called the demon Brass. In an instant, the demon's hand was torn into pieces. Dolly then asked Caddy if she had a death wish. He told her that she has lost judgment from the pain. Earlier, Walter told Dolly that Caddy was now his partner, and said that even though Caddy was not quite ready to harness her demonic powers yet, she got a good sense of combat. So, at that moment, Dolly thought that being partnered with Caddy still has a long way to go.
Afterwards, Dale went to his room to rest. He couldn't stop thinking about what the evil god said, that it will free his soul to the place where he and his family used to live. He wondered what the evil god meant about the place where his family lived. Shortly, a person arrived, asking if he was awake. Dale opened the door and asked the person's identity. The man said that his name is Q, the information management officer. He said that he just came to check on his data. Dale looked at Q's record while Q told him that he had been gathering information about him while he was passed out. Q immediately covered the data and told Dale that he can't look at it, and said that there's something weird that he needs to check. He clarified if Dale was from the East and lost his parents and brother as a sacrifice to the gods. Then, he informs him that they found something weird in the place where he used to live. Q told him that there is no sanctuary present there, to which Dale was taken aback. The next day, Dolly traveled with Katie and Q in the eastern region. Katie asked Q why they need to check if there's no sanctuary or not, and asked if it's possible that there is no sanctuary but Dale's family's souls were taken away. Q said that it's because the sanctuary either exists or it doesn't. But Dale retorted that he remembered it well, that there was a god in the place where his family was sacrificed. Dale remembered that it was a mysterious god with a black halo. Hearing this, Q said it was new information. However, it's a new case of seeing a god outside a sanctuary. Katie intervened, saying that she understands that they need to investigate, as there's only once a case where there's a victim. She then quickly brought down her bag. To their surprise, there was a dissension ritual that was held in front of them. Katie said that it's her first time seeing a trail that big. She then pondered that some gods move after dissension and establish sanctuaries elsewhere, no sanctuary aside. Then, she thought that a descent trial like that should be a god they all know, so she started to think who it was. Katie pondered that it's not like Dale was the only one who survived the descent. Suddenly, Dale said that it was weird. He said that he expected that there would be a decent ritual, but it was not a kind of god who leaves traces like that, because there were only 3 people sacrificed, his parents and his brother. But Q said that it's not uncommon, as some people who witness a descent have memory problems. Q then said that he had confirmed that there was a descent in the east, and judging by the size of the trail, it seems to be a powerful deity. Moreover, Q said that all they needed to report is the god appears to have migrated, and Dale is having memory problems as an after effect of witnessing the descent. However, Dale persisted that he remembered it well, and it's impossible for him to have memory problems. Suddenly, someone shot Dale. Katie quickly went into position, finding the one that targeted Dale. 2 men nearby at the top of the truck were the ones who shot Dale, but it was an accident as they were trying to catch them. Shortly, one of them told Katie and Q to get out of there and they won't kill them. But Katie had a plan, as she was thinking about their transportation. Katie expressed that thanks to the 2 men, she won't have to hold back. Meanwhile, the 2 men noticed that Katie had a weird expression. Then, they asked Katie if she could run faster. But Katie didn't listen to them and quickly charged. While the man thought that they are safe casually talking. Shortly, they were surprised by Katie's appearance. Katie was about to strike the man and the man was in shock, unable to move. But Katie stopped as the man's companion pointed a gun at her and told her that if she moved, he would shoot. Meanwhile, Katie asked Dale what they should do with them, as the commander told her not to kill a believer. Thus, the man told her not to bluff and asked if she wanted to follow her boyfriend. Dale spoke up, which surprised the man as he was alive. So, the man instinctively shoots many times, telling Dale that he's a monster. Dale asked the man what he should call him if he's a monster. He held the man's neck and the man immediately admitted that it was his fault and begged not to kill him. Hence, Dale asked why he should let him live, to which the man said that he had a wife and a daughter. Hearing this, Dale let go of the man. The man said that if the gods don't have a sacrifice for him by next month, his wife and daughter will be used as sacrifices. He then asked Dale if he's a non-believer, and said that if Dale let him live, he would abandon his religion as well. But someone suddenly shot the man in the head. Q said that the man was despicable. He told Dale that the mark on the man's side of the neck is the number of offerings he has made so far. The white square marker is given to priests in the southern sanctuary. Q said that priests in the south don't marry or have children, and the man was lying to Dale the whole time. Following that, Q opened the truck. He told Dale that he should know well what kind of people those men are. To their surprise, a lot of people were inside the truck. It was the human sacrifices that those men were transporting, which surprised Dale. Moreover, Katie called Q and asked what they should do. Q said that the man was a priest, not a believer. Still, he told her to keep the man alive and find out more about the southern sanctuary. Hearing this, the man thanked them. But he was shocked when they said that they would kill him after. Shortly, they left with the truck and with the people. Katie and Dale was inside. They were looking at the mother that was feeding her baby. Suddenly, Katie spoke up about the man's family. So, Dale asked what she meant. Katie stated that fighting gods, being sold to gods, selling gods, it all about family. She said that most of the non-believers lost their families and chose to fight against gods. Then, she shared that Walter lost his wife to the gods. And Hannah lost her sister. So, Dale asked what about her. He asked if it was because of her family as well. Katie said that it was and shared that she had an older brother. When Katie was a child, she saw her brother murdered people. Lots of people died because of him. There was blood all over his hands. Katie loved her brother the most. At that time, her brother looked at her and called her name, then stated that if they meet again. Thus, Katie thought that if they meet again, she said that she must kill her brother. This confused Dale as he didn't expect that she loathed her brother. Meanwhile, in the northeast region, the man said that they couldn't stop the man from appearing in the end. He said that he didn't expect that leaving a warning would backfire. Shortly, his subordinate informs him that the Great Trinity has contacted them and asked if they light a candle. The man then decided to light a candle. The three revered gods appeared, so the man greeted them that it's been a while. The god asked if he was safe on his pilgrimage. In response, the man said that he was, as the gods have been good to him. Then, the other god said that he doesn't care about his pilgrimage and asked when he is going to deliver the next prophecy. The man said that he was just about to contact them about the prophecies, but he doesn't have them. He then thanked them for helping him fulfill the prophecy in the meantime. So, the three gods mused that the prophecy has come as foretold. One of the gods said that he promised prophecies until the descent of the one true God. But the Almighty One said that they were the first to break their promise, as they ignored his warnings and moved the forces of the central shrine. However, he said that he understood that they were afraid. He said that they don't actually want the descent of the one true God, the Lord of Omnipotence. He told the revered gods that unlike them who are trapped in the well that is the sanctuary, the Lord of Omnipotence is a real God. So the gods got angry, but he told them that there's good news for them. He said that the one true God is now looking for a successor, and one of the gods of the earth will inherit the power of the one true God. Meanwhile, Dale was looking at the data. He was looking at the information of the earth. Going back, the Almighty One predicts that one of the gods will receive the power of the one true God. He then told them to defeat evil with good. The Almighty One stated that may the power and glory be with them forever and ever. Furthermore, he ended his meeting with the three gods. He then said that the prophecy has been concluded that the three gods will soon separate. Shortly, he called his subordinate and instructed her to report on the current status of the void relics. Trisha said that it is moving from the east to the northeast as it is predicted. Hence, the Almighty One said that the prophecy is over. As with the existence of variables, it is no longer a prophecy. Then, he told her that the important thing from then on is to control the variables. Thus, he stated that although the favorable wind is still blowing, do not be reassured. He stated that just a mere flutter of a fly's wings is an insignificant variable, and the breeze from that flutter could return as a gust of wind. But if controlled well, the gust will return not as a headwind, but as a favorable wind. With that statement, he crushed the fly. Therefore, he told Trisha that her role from then on is crucial. Shortly, an evil presence appeared. The owner of the sacred blood, Blair, appeared in front of him. Furthermore, Walter discussed that there are currently 13 deities expected to descend. One of them was the three great deities ruling the large sanctuaries in the north, west, and south. Also, the 9 deities of the minor sanctuaries that are scattered around the world. He then explained that God's control of the world is over 80%, and they are still expanding their territories. So, Walter told them that their ultimate goal is to destroy all the sanctuaries and once again regain freedom of humanity. Dale then said that since they have captured Barrack, 12 remain, and they just need to find and kill the remaining deities. But, Walter said that it's just the number they anticipate, as there actually may be many more and they still need more preparations. Then, he told them that their first mission was to head to the northern base. Hearing this, Dale, Katie, Q were confused why they are headed to the northern base. Hence, Walter explained that communication with the northern base has been cut off for unknown reasons, and it might be due to the influence of the newly emerged sanctuary in the northeast. The mission has 2 objectives. The first one is to investigate the unknown sanctuary in the northeast. Secondly, deliver the serum recipe to the northern base. Katie then said that she understood, but she asked if the team composition was really okay. Thus, Walter said that it was, as Dale is essential, while Q is needed for delivering the recipe. However, Katie still questioned why Simon and Hannah are not coming along as their officers as well. So, Hannah said that she's not the commander anymore as she delegated the role back to Walter. Then, she told Simon that she's not the unit commander anymore either. Thus, Hannah asked why he's taking him along, saying that he's of no use, to whom Simon got mad, asking if she wanted to die. Katie asked if dying is what he meant and asked him if he could kill him. However, Hannah intervened, saying that they seem to not understand that without Simon, the mission can't be completed. She said that Simon is a key cooperative in a way. Afterwards, they left and Simon was the driver, which he didn't expect. Hannah told him not to look so disappointed. She said that she didn't lie about him being a key operative, as it's a transport mission. So the driver is the most important, adding that the elders might recognize his contributions. So, Simon asked what's the benefit if they recognize him, to which Hannah gave an example that he could become a member of the council. Hearing this, Simon started to imagine. He imagined himself calling the elders for a very important matter. He was discussing the issue as a member of the council. Simon had a proposal for the execution of the divine assassin, although he has no idea how the council meetings are conducted. Moreover, Hannah smiled as he saw Simon imagining things. She then asked Q where they are exactly at the moment. Q stated that according to the Mao, they have already entered the sanctuary area, but they can't see anything outside. But, Hannah said that there seems to be something, however it's hardly visible because of the dust. Moreover, Q said that according to their location, it should be the sanctuary area, but there's no temple or even any followers in sight. Hence, Dale asked if he knew about what Walter had mentioned. Walter told them before that every sanctuary has a temple, and to gods, a temple is like a fence. He said that it's a pasture where they raise followers to be used as sacrifices for their power. Then, Dale asked if there are gods without temples. Hence, Walter also wondered if there is really such a crazy god without a temple. Suddenly, Hannah noticed blood dripping from the truck. So, they stopped and Dale and the others came out. They wondered what the thing was in front of them, as it didn't look like a temple. There was a godlike figure in front of them, but they weren't sure what it was. Suddenly, something dripped in Simon's face. He quickly touched what it was. Then, he told the others to look above. To their surprise, many blood-like body figures were floating in the sky. Suddenly, the figure talked, saying that it's them, who have abandoned the joy of life and embraced death. It said that they were foolish. As they hear it talk, they start to realize that it was a god. Moreover, the god said that foolishness is a sin and sin corrupts the world. He stated that his mission was to heal the corrupted and cut away the rot. The god called them infidels filled with sin and said that they are nothing but a harmful cancer. As some strange creatures appeared, Dale instructed his teammates to fall back behind him and Katie. Beforehand, Dale asked Walter why they shouldn't face the gods. To which Walter said that it's because they cannot obtain information. He explained that the first step in targeting a god is to extract information from their followers, as they need to understand the god's powers and counter them with the appropriate demonic force. However, he stated that for gods who do not raise followers, they cannot know their powers until they confront them. So, he told them to remember that an unprepared battle could only result in defeat. Currently, the god told them that he will grant them the last chance to escape from sin. He instructed them to cast off their mere flesh and become a part of him. Dale looked up as the god slowly revealed its true appearance. The god told them to embrace it with joy, its blood and flesh, and become his bloodkin. The god called them non-believers. It said that it will give them one last chance to repent for their sins. It instructed them to open their impure and unholy hearts before it. The god also said that it will give them salvation through its blood. On the other hand, Dale still couldn't believe that a god with no temple exists. Dale noticed that they're completely surrounded from the back, and thought that it takes more than an intermediate-level demon to deal with such numbers. However, he thought that if they launch an attack, non-combatants may be caught in crossfire. So, he felt troubled on what he should do. He wondered what kind of demonic power he should use in that situation. To his surprise, his eye was about to be pierced. But Katie came to the rescue and sliced the demon's hand. She asked him what he was waiting for. Hence, Dale told her that they need to find a way to attack while protecting their non-combatants, to which Katie said that there are no non-combatants with them. Katie said that he's underestimating them too much. She told him that except for the children and elders, non-believers are all combatants. Simon is actually a weapons engineer with all kinds of weapons. Meanwhile, Q and Hannah have been through many fights together. Hannah then instructed Katie and Dale to stay in the sanctuary and gather as much information about the gods as possible while they analyze those outside of the sanctuary. Dale then asked how she would leave the sanctuary. Shortly, Q told Hannah that the preparation is done. Suddenly, Hannah's arms became a robot, as all parts of her body is a machine. Moreover, Hannah said that Simon will keep the car running, while Q grabbed some specimens. Dale was surprised that Hannah was a machine, to which Katie explained that only her body is, but her brain is human. She told him that she did not know the full story about Hannah, except that it was done by some god. While Hannah fights the demons, Simon got the car running. Hannah eliminated most of the demons. Still, Dolly couldn't believe it, and Katie made fun of him for not knowing. Shortly, Hannah told them that she's out as the battery might run out if she keeps fighting, and then instructed Dale to take care of his communication device. Then, the three of them left, leaving Katie and Dale behind. Suddenly, Dale saw the god's demon moving. He quickly told Katie that they are still moving. So, they wondered what they were. He said that if it's a part of the god, it would have remained conscious, but it doesn't seem to be. Suddenly, Dale had something in mind. He then quickly told Katie to get ready and they should try it, to which Katie asked if he had figured out its powers. Dale said that he didn't, but if his guess is correct, it will definitely work on the god. So, they start to begin the god hunt. Meanwhile, Q and Hannah test the demon, and they notice that it has a weird anatomy as it's neither an animal or plant. Q said that its power is an energy source, but it's unicellular. Suddenly, Dale contacted them. They asked if he figured out its power, but Dale said that he didn't, but he had a guess. Dale instructed them to make sure that the specimen stops moving outside the sanctuary. But they told them that it just stopped moving as soon as they left the sanctuary. To their surprise, Dale told them that it's a god. Dale told them that it's a part of a god to be exact. He then shared that when they fought Barak, he saw something similar to that in his temple. He told them that Barak had a golden display of offerings made to him. Moreover, Barak began to absorb all the offerings. Thus, gods don't just take human souls. Dale said that they take whatever body the soul has and make it a part of themselves. Additionally, he mused that it's not a separate entity from the god. Furthermore, Dale started to realize that the whole sanctuary is one god. Hence, he told Katie that if the entire sanctuary is a god, it might actually be easier to capture. Previously, Walter told them about what they have to do if they're in a situation where they have to fight a god with no information about its power. The first attack he told them is to push them out. Walter explained that gods cannot use their powers outside their sanctuaries. However, he said that there are several conditions that need to be met. Dale recalled what Walter said, that the first one to consider is weight. He pondered that the god of that place divided its body into many incarnations. Compared to its main body, they are much smaller and lighter. So, he wondered what if the god blows them away with a powerful explosion before reabsorbing them. Afterwards, Dale told Katie that the demon powers to use are number 16 and 18. Without delay, Dale and Katie started to transform. They combined the power of two demons into one. Before they attack, Dale knows that they only got one chance to take down the god. Without further ado, Katie summoned Jeezer and Dale summoned Hig. Upon summoning it, Dale and Katie quickly charged towards the evil god. Katie thought that in order for Dale's attack to work, he must stay as close to the main body as possible. However, she thought that the problem is that those guys surround the main body. Hence, she thought that they needed to take care of them first. Without further ado, she starts eliminating them. Katie was able to match with them because of her borrowed power. One by one, she killed them. But they have a long way to go. Even if she keeps killing them, there are still way too many of them. Then, she thought that she could break through them using Anak's power. However, Dale told him earlier that no other demon's powers are to be used until the operation is executed, and if the situation is overwhelming, she should just run away. But Katie pondered how she could just run away. Before, Katie was laughed at by her other subordinates. They said that she's weak. Hence, she wanted to prove herself. So she decided that it won't happen again. She asserted that she won't run away. Moreover, she hurled his weapon throughout the devils. Consequently, her weapon was so strong it went through them. Then, he successfully managed to hold on to it. Quickly, she summoned Jeezer. She managed to cling to the main body. However, she noticed there were devils charging at her. Hence, she quickly eliminated them. Then, she called Dale and said that he's all set. After breaking through the devil armies, Dale took the opportunity to get to the main body. Thus, Dale thought that it's a good time and he should get started. Previously, Walter asked them to memorize something. Walter said that he has put together some synergistic combinations of the demons they have worked with, to which Katie asked why they have to study when they could just fight. Walter told her to do what she's told, but Katie retorted that she hates studying. Meanwhile, a combination caught Dale's eyes, to which it was useful when facing multiple enemies. He then pondered that Hig's ability is a gravity manipulation, while Jeezer's ability is mass manipulation. When put together, Hig's ability brings enemies together and Jeezer's ability makes them heavier. Hence, they are maximizing the power of both demons to overwhelm enemies in an instant. But the warning about that tactic was the one who caught his attention the most. Going back, Dale summoned Hig. As a result, the devil minions floated. As the minions floated, Katie took the opportunity to move. She pierced her weapon to the ground and held it tight to avoid floating in the air. Finally, Dale successfully brought the enemy together. Hence, he told Katie to go. With that, Katie summoned Jeezer again. The air got heavier as she summoned Jeezer. Consequently, the devil minion's head got crushed because of the heavy atmosphere. Meanwhile, Dale brought them together as he was planning to make it explode to the main body. Previously, Dale told Water that he doesn't understand the warning that was written there. He read that excessive mass and gravity can cause damage to allies if it crosses the tipping point. Hence, it requires extra caution. So, Walter explained that the water pressure will rise from the center of the enemy cluster, and at the very center the density increases due to strong pressure. As the density increases, the temperature increases, and at some point, the critical point is crossed. Consequently, a huge explosion occurs. Going back, Dale summoned Vasan. As a result, the minions exploded. Hence, the main body was surprised. The explosion spread widely, and it reached the main body's face. Consequently, the main body got burned and its flesh melted. Dale tried to protect him and Katie with the power of the demon. But the explosion was too strong and he was barely holding on. Suddenly, it caused a strong explosion again, causing great impact to the surroundings. Katie immediately helped Dale as he got injured by the explosion. To their surprise, the god was alive, telling them that they're pathetic. The god mocked them, asking if the explosion was the best thing that they could come up with. Then, it spoke about the one true God, questioning if it was the source of the new world it was concerned about. Suddenly, the evil god tried to take Dale and Katie. The evil god questioned the one true God again, asking if the one true God bestowed him the power of blood and life for those insignificant humans. Upon hearing this, Katie and Dale pondered about the blood and life. Moreover, the evil god knew that Dale and Katie's thought that removing his flesh will weaken his power. So, the evil god explained that the blood that makes up for his body produces millions of blood cells every second. Thus, he said that even when a foreign organism like them is recognized, the production of the white blood cells increases significantly. Suddenly, the evil god summoned another devil minions of his. It was a lot stronger than before, so Dale pulled Katie behind him. Dale struggled and wondered what those creatures were. He noticed that it's different from the ones before, as it was much stronger. Then, he thought that he was wrong about the power to constantly create those things from blood. But he finds it hard to believe it. Suddenly, he noticed that his hand just changed. He thought that the attack from earlier wasn't just a normal attack. Suddenly, his body was being enveloped by a strange organism. Katie felt concerned as Dale was wrapped in the strange organism and she couldn't reach him. Moreover, the evil god told Dale that he has a disease, then said that he has a mission to heal the world. The evil god asserted that Dale and the non-believers deserve to be exterminated for eternal life. In response, Dale said that he was talking nonsense as he thought that he said that he will save the world. Dale told the evil god that taking souls and turning people into puppets is not what saving is called. However, the evil god retorted that the ultimate cure is to free the soul from the suffering body. He asserted that for the essence of life is not the body but the soul which rejoices eternity. The evil god said that the true salvation is to shed the body that is a slave of death and to become flesh and blood of his body. Hearing this, Dale got mad and told him to be quiet. Dale retorted that gods are the disease of their world and they are the ones who need to be exterminated. Slowly, Dale was being devoured by the flesh. The evil god challenged him to try if he could. However, Dale was completely devoured by the god's flesh. Hence, Katie was surprised. Meanwhile, Q said that they should activate the bomb in Dale's heart. But Hannah said not yet. Suddenly, Hannah noticed Dale's reaction. The flesh that devoured Dale was strangely acting. Katie felt a terrifying presence and realized what it was. The evil god was also confused, wondering what's happening. They thought that it was an earthquake, but Hannah said that it's not. She said that it was what Walter was talking about before. The evil god was surprised as a strange thing emerged. The worm that devours the flesh of the dead gods emerged, the king of diseases, Molochs. 3 years ago, Dale stumbled on the pit of diseases. He stood in front of a monster. He knew it was the lord of the 11th hell, the king of diseases, eating the flesh of the dead old gods. Dale called it Molochs. As he called its name, it began reacting. Molochs got angered with his appearance. It asked him who he was as he dared to utter the name of the devil. Dale said that he was there because he needs the power of the devil, his power. He then offered Molochs to make a pact with him. But Molochs persisted. He crushed Dale again. Moloch said that he was crazy for daring to demand a contract from that body. In response, Dale said that he heard that he is the reincarnation of the ancient god. Dale stated that the reincarnation of the old god was forgotten by all, That's why it craves and covets power endlessly. He knew that Mollux ate the flesh of the old gods' bodies to gain strength. Hence, Dale told Mollux that it was the other way around, as eating a corpse like that doesn't give him strength. But Mollux retorted that Dale have no clue about anything. Thus, Dale said that he will get it back to him, to which Mollux fell silent. Dale informed Mollux that the gods have descended upon the realm, and said that he will hunt them down and give him strength. Mollux started to realize that Dale is not an ordinary human, so he asked him who he was. Dale then began to show his heart. He told Mollux that he made a pact with the owner of the void. Then, he asked Mollux to enter the void's vessel, and in exchange, he will lend his flesh. So, Dale summoned Mollux as they made an agreement to hunt the living gods. Shortly, Dale's body was slowly transforming. Mollux wanted to tear the living god's body. Hence, Dale told it to hunt the gods to his heart's content. Katie was surprised upon seeing Dale's new appearance. She discerned that it was demonic possession. Meanwhile, the evil god realized Dale's figure. Mollux and Dale merged together. Then, Mollux asked the god if he was the living god. Mollux told the living god that he will harvest the power of its blood and life. Previously, Walter looked at his team before they left. He then approached Katie. He told her to be careful. Katie asked why he was being like that all of a sudden, then said that she doesn't have to worry about anything as they have a weapon that kills gods. Walter said that's why she needs to be careful, because the weapon that can kill gods is Dale being possessed by a demon. At that time, Katie doesn't understand. But upon seeing Dale now, she finally realized what the demonic possession means, as it was not the same as using a demon for its power. She realized that possession is literally lending your body to a demon. Katie then pondered that the beings of hell are certainly enemies of the gods, but that doesn't mean that they're on the side of the humans. Moreover, Mollux called the living god. He instructed it to spit out its powers. Suddenly, the living god felt strange. Puke a black thing on the ground. Katie discerned that it was poison, so she felt troubled as it might kill her too. Hence, she decided to get out on that area. But, she stopped her advance. She suddenly saw a mysterious gate out of nowhere. Shortly, she felt weak and fell on her knees as she inhaled the poison. She tried to hold her consciousness as something might happen if she collapses. But, Hannah arrived and quickly put a mask on her. Hannah carried her and fled away to the area. Hannah then pondered that she didn't expect that the situation would be that bad, even though she heard it from Walter already. Meanwhile, Mollux felt overjoyed as Dale's body is much better than he expected. The living god then suddenly pondered that it was the scourge of the new world. Hence, the living god told Mollux that he was mistaken. He said that he thought that he was a disease to be cured, but he was already festering and rotten. Upon hearing those words, Mollux smirked. He told the living god that he was not wrong. Moreover, the living god stood up and stated that the only treatment needed for decay is cutting it out and removing it. Quickly, the living god started to attack. He stated that he will cut Mollux completely. On the other hand, Mollux was relaxed. He then quickly summoned the living god's flesh and blood. Then, he exploded it. The living god was surprised and wondering how could he do that to his flesh and blood. Thus, Mollux asked if those creatures was his. Hence, he said that he will give it back. Without delay, he hurled the creature towards the living god. But, the living god was hesitant as they turned into sand. The sand enveloped the living god. Drones sent out by Q and his team were watching Dale take down the evil god. Simon cheered for Dale and said that he did a good job. Shortly, Hannah arrived with Katie. She instructed them to get her the antidote quickly. Q then asked if Katie got injured by the god. Hannah said that it was not by the god, while she gave Katie the antidote. She told them that Katie was caught up during a demonic attack, to which Q asked if it was Dale since it was a demon. But, Hannah retorted that it wasn't Dale and it was the demon, hence they also need to be careful until the fight is over. Suddenly, Simon said that the fight seems to be over. So, Hannah checked the video if the fight was really over. But, they saw that Dale wasn't going back to his original self. Q then said that if Dale gives the promised amount of power to the demon, the possession is broken. Hence, Q mused that the possession hasn't been broken yet. Katie then woke up and said that it's not the main body, to which they were surprised. She told them that she found a mysterious gate inside the sanctuary. Then, she said that she noticed that the living god's alter ego was guarding it. Katie then believed that a god would never make a figure in his image. Meanwhile, Mollix was thinking that the flesh was not enough. Hence, he wondered if the living god wasn't really him. Katie and the others mused that there's a separate body. Suddenly, Mollix noticed a gate. Inside the gate, someone talked and told Mollix that he will never be able to defeat him. He said that he has something that Mollix does not have. He mentioned that it was a mission that will certainly save humanity. Hence, he asked Mollix what he was fighting for. He told Mollix that there's no meaning in fighting for him. The living god said that he's the holy blood and Mollix are the disease. He asserted that he shall not be defeated by him, as humanity has never been defeated by a disease. However, Mollix stays silent. Hence, the living god contemplates. Shortly, the living god stood up and said that there's disharmony, but it's not just his appearance that's changed. He asked Dale if it was him, the weapon that can kill gods. But he realized that he was just possessed by a demon. He told Mollix that he's pitiful as he was a demon being used by the non-believers. However, Dale ignored him. He attacked the living god with his power. However, the living god easily changed position and asked Dale if his goal was to obtain his powers. The living god went down and said that he will give him his powers. But he told him to give him the void artifact first. At the van, Q asked his teammates if they didn't recognize the god, to which they also wondered how he knew about the weapon that can kill the gods. Suddenly, Hannah realized something. She discerned why the northern base has lost contact. She said that Walter said that the gods might be humans. Moreover, Hannah told them that Walter and her tested it, and their suspicions are correct. Walter stated that its structure characteristics are identical to the Void's artifacts. Hence, he mused that the gods are like Dale. Suddenly, Hannah said that the man was Blair Yan. Blair Yan was the man that everyone called a saint, who rescued the lives of numerous non-believers. He was also the non-believer northern base captain. So, they wondered how Blair suddenly became a god. Previously, the Almighty attacked the northern base, to which the Almighty said that the gods are trying to save humanity. But Blair retorted that they aren't trying to save humanity after killing all those people. Suddenly, Blair felt a piercing pain from his heart. The Almighty said that a piece of rib has pierced his heart. Then, he told Blair that he has a spare heart. He offered it and asked if he would like to take it. The Almighty then mentioned that everything will all make sense, saying that the Master of Infinity has a grand plan. Moreover, he told Blair that ignorance is not a sin, but a foolishness that comes from ignorance is sinful. Hence, the Almighty said that he will save Blair from his sins and take his place as God. He told Blair that it's not humans that he needs to cure, but humanity. Consequently, Blair took his offer and now believed that he needs to cure humanity. Suddenly, he didn't sense that Dale was already behind him. Then, Dale grabbed him. He squeezed him and told him to get his powers out. Dale opened his chest and it revealed his heart, which is the power of blood and life. But the living god was still smiling, saying that Dale cannot beat him. Blair told Dale that he was actually digesting him from the moment he came inside the temple. Quickly, he pierced Dale's body, stating that the temple was inside his stomach. Suddenly, a wing-like bone emerged from Blair's back. This enveloped Dale and has damaged him inside it. As Dale fell to the ground, he asked Blair if his temple was inside of his stomach. Then, he said that it's rather wonderful. Suddenly, Dale was bringing out a lot of insects from his mouth. So, Blair immediately tried to stop its advance. To his surprise, he saw Dale already charging. Dale told him that it was in his stomach anyway. Hence, he will be able to rampage to his heart's content. Dale struck Blair without any hesitation. However, Blair controls all of their surroundings. So, he easily attacked Dale without lifting a finger. But Dale wasn't affected. It made him grow even stronger. He told Blair that he was his prey. In response, Blair told him not to bluff. Afterwards, both of them charged instantly. As they collided, the power was too strong and they both math. However, Blair was struggling. He was being pushed back by Dale. Dale told Blair that he devoured him, and yet, he is hunted inside his stomach. He told Blair Thay if he surrendered his power, he would leave his soul, to which Blair said that he would give it to him. However, Blair only acted and said that Dale doesn't seem to know. He stated that digestion doesn't start until some time has passed. Moreover, Blair told Dale that if he was going to hunt him, he shouldn't have gone into the mouth of his prey. Blair then told Dale that it was his foolishness that got him killed. Hence, he said that they should start. However, he suddenly felt his hands and saw that his flesh was melting. Dale told Blair that he was a fool from the moment he put his body into his stomach. Meanwhile, Blair thought that something was injected to him on the attack earlier. Dale then stated that he was the prey. He said that there was no fight from the start. He asserted that he has been hunting, but it's fun to hunt something that's been dead a long time. Moreover, he revealed that what he injected to Blair was a disease that destroyed the world. He told him that it's an otherworldly disease of hell where decay that should be delayed is carried out alive. First, the body will be in an inflation phase, where the whole body swells up. Secondly, the blood-stain phase, to which the fat melts and flows out of every hole. Next, the decomposition phase, where the flesh melts away. Lastly, Blair will go into the discoloration phase, where only the black and bluish skill will remain. Shortly, Dale came out from the living god's body. Dale retracted its heart and told Blair that he will leave his soul as promised. Shortly, the demon disappeared. Hence, Blair was left without a heart. Moreover, Blair called the Master of the Infinite and said that he could not fulfill his entire mission. However, he said that the most important mission is completed. At the van, a part of the flesh they took from the living god was moving towards the tube. It was planning to enter the other specimen. As it entered, it fell to the water. Consequently, it merged with the other specimen.
If you want the next part of this Manhwa recap, please comment your opinion and don't forget to like and subscribe our channel for support.